Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulihi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Wa min tabi'ahum bi ihsani ila yawm ad-din wa ba'd. Alhamdulillah, I'd like to welcome you all to sequentially it is week 12, although we missed a couple of weeks. But mashallah, we're just trying to get back in the groove. So last week I was supposed to record this video and upload it for you to review, and then we go over this week, but I dropped the ball, and inshallah we'll just start from where we are, inshallah. So everyone's well?
Yes, alhamdulillah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so Sister Allison, do you have a copy of the book, right? Did I email you a copy?
Yes.
Okay, what's the name of it?
Essentials of Salam, of probably Islam. I think I wrote Salam on my paper,
Okay.
but it's Islam.
What's the author's name?
I didn't write it down in my notes. Hold on, let me go back because I just kept it in the digital. I didn't print it out.
I come from the hip hop era where we recite our rhymes off the dome, so no notes.
Okay, well I'll note down.
You can't go in the studio with your book. You got to be, you got to have your lines memorized.
Okay. All right.
Okay, mashallah. Well, no worries. So this will be a short class because it's just one section. The mubtilat of the salat, the invalidators of salat, is a very short section, but we want to review, read up into that section, inshallah, today. All right. So, do I have any volunteers, or you want me to do it, or?
I can do it.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Yeah. We get right into it. So, you can start from chapter 1. Well, first, let's review the book. The author. Where was he from? What year did he die?
Imam Ahmed.
Give me some background about the book, Sister Khadija. I'm a new person learning about Islam. Give me some background about this book.
So this book is going to help you to establish your Islam, or your way of practice, according to the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, within the guidelines of the Shafi'i madhab.
Mm-hmm.
It was written, or the author is Imam Ahmed ibn Zayn al-Alawi al-Habashi,
Mm-hmm.
and he died 1145 AH.
Okay.
He was considered little Shafi'i.
Mm-hmm.
He was, oh my gosh, he was born in Yemen. Oh gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he was born in Yemen. And this book is just it's in Arabic is the Ar-Risalah al-Jami'ah Nafi'ah.
Ar-Risalah to Jamia.
Ar-Risalah to Jami'ah.
Wa tadkiratu
Nafi'ah.
Okay, what does tadkiratu Nafia mean?
It's the letter of oh no, you said what is, say that again?
The tadkiratu Nafia. Risalah to Jamia is the comprehensive message. What tadkiratu Nafia means what?
Not for mankind, for not foundation. I forgot.
Tadkiratu Nafia is the beneficial reminder. That's okay, because we never cover the whole title. We always just use Risalah to Jamia. Okay. So Risalah to Jamia, what Tadkiratu Nafia is the complete name of the book. And it means Risala means like a letter or an epistle, and a Jamia means all encompassing or a comprehensive. And Tadkiratu Nafia is a beneficial reminder. So it is a small book that was written by Ahmed ibn Zayn al-Habashi. Who was he a student of?
Ibn Abdullah al-Haddad.
Yes. Imam Abdullah al-Haddad. All right.
Yes.
And they weren't necessarily known for writing like a lot of books, like many of the great scholars were, writing volumes. And so he was asked to write this book for the common person. Mm-hmm. And so in this book is contained how many years was Imam al-Haddad?
40 years.
So in this book, this comprehensive message was his 40 years of experience with one of the great scholars of Islam, and he made it very simple for common people like us. All right, so the book Ar-Risalah al-Jami'ah wa Tadhkiratu Nafi'ah is covering three aspects of learning. What are they?
The Aqidah, Fiqh, and Akhlaq wa Salaq.
Okay, but what's the other terms we use?
Islam,
And those are the meanings.
Islam, Iman, and Ihsan.
So when we talk about Islam, we're going to be talking about
the matters of the mind.
No, Islam.
Oh, Islam. Oh, the 5 pillars or arkan.
Okay, but the matters of what?
Matters of this, not matters.
They're connected to
the matters of the body.
Worship.
Worship.
Ahkam, rulings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And the matters of Iman are connected to matters of
the mind.
Okay, when we talk about Iman, what's the other terms we use? The synonymous. You just said them.
Fiqh.
No.
The arkan. Wait.
No.
Oh my gosh! Wait a minute. Why did I do
synonyms for Iman? You know them.
Faith. Oh, shahada and
no. The synonyms for the word Iman. Other words that we use when we talk about Iman. You said Aqidah.
Fiqh.
No, Aqidah. What's the most important thing when we enter into
matters of the mind?
Yes, matters of the mind, but synonyms for the word Iman. When we talk about Iman, we're talking about Aqidah.
Yes.
We're talking about belief. And what else we talking about?
Faith.
Faith is Iman.
Yeah.
Aqidah, the T word.
Tasawwuf? No.
No.
What in the world how did I just forget that?
Tawheed.
Tawheed. Oh my God.
Aqidah, Tawheed, and what's the other term? That you don't hear that often, but we covered it.
Ahlul,
Ilm, al-Kalam.
I know it.
The science of it. I know you know it. That's why. That's okay. But this is the goal of this class, is that we're able to articulate it without having to resort to notes, because we do know it, you know?
Yes.
So the
I said, and I'm looking at you so that I don't look at my notes.
All right. So Islam deals with matters of worship, fiqh, ahkam, which deals with matters of the body. Iman deals with issues of Aqidah, Tawheed, and Ilm al-Kalam, which is matters of the mind. And then the other one is Ihsan, and it deals with matters of
the heart.
Okay, what are the synonyms we use for Ihsan?
Tasawwuf and Akhlaq and Suluk.
Akhlaq and Suluk. Yeah, and another one we said is called Zuhud. Zuhud means to abstain from the worldly life. All right, so this book is going to cover those issues, not in detail, but they're taken from another work that he said he took it from. He said it's a mukhtasar. What is a mukhtasar?
Why am I forgetting everything? It's like a mukhtasar is it's the chain. No, it's not.
He said in the beginning of the book, this book is a mukhtasar taken from the bigger works of Hujjatul Islam. Mukhtasar means a summary or an abridgment.
Yes, you're right.
Okay. So he said that this book is an abridgment taken from the works of Hujjatul Islam. Who was Hujjatul Islam?
Imam al-Ghazali.
Imam Ghazali. He said that anyone who wants to know deeper to go into those books. And then he said that this book here is that it is hope that you will become Ahlul Ilm, Zahiran wa Batinan, inwardly and outwardly. So in other words, if a person learns these issues, these very small issues, they will become Ahlul Ilm. So what are these issues dealing with? What are they dealing with? The necessary knowledge we have to know. What is it called?
Oh my God.
For each and every individual, we have to learn it.
The necessary. Why am I? I'm
Sister
sure.
Allison, you want to take a crack at it?
The pillars of Islam, or like
The pillar. Yeah, he's dealing with the pillars of Islam, and dealing with them in detail. But the pillars of Islam have to be known by every person that is what?
Oh, mukallaf.
Mukallaf. Yeah, with the person who is at the age of responsibility.
Yes.
But what do we call these? He says in the book, he said that these things are, he relates to hadith. Talabatul ilm faridatun ala kulli Muslim. He said seeking of knowledge is an obligation upon every Muslim. So he used the word farida, and which the word fard comes from that word. So we talk about a
specific, the fard ayn.
Yes. Okay. So this knowledge in this book is fard ayn. What does fard ayn mean?
That means the obligation to yourself. Those things that you have to do that if you don't do, they're blameworthy.
Yeah. We talk about knowledge that is every person that is mukallaf for the age of accountability, they have to know this knowledge for themselves. Yes. All right. And if they don't know it, then they are sinful. All right. And what's the other fard we study?
Fard kifaya.
What is fard kifaya?
Fard kifaya, that's the necessary knowledge that we need to know as an ummah, the obligations of the ummah.
Okay. So that someone from the ummah has to undertake it, or the whole ummah is responsible.
Yeah. So that would be like for janazah and doing itikaf and things like that.
Yes. So okay, we mentioned what I was about to say. So we said Islam, Iman, and Ihsan. All right. So Islam is matters of the body, ahkam, fiqh. What's another meaning of fiqh we said? Fiqh means understanding, yes. But we gave another meaning. Let me see if you remember.
I know it's matters of the body, but
yeah, I gave a meaning. You might not remember. We didn't go in detail, but yeah, I ain't gonna trouble you too much. But fiqh means it is a way out for the worshiper, to facilitate ease for the worshiper.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So extracting these understandings from the Quran and the Sunnah to make it easy for the worshiper, so all of these rulings. All right. Assalamu alaikum, sis, you good?
Wa alaikum assalam. Yes, I don't know. I guess when I was trying to like move the cursor, it just shut me off. It went back. I don't know what happened.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. No worries. Okay, so we were just talking about fard ayn and fard kifaya. Fard ayn is the obligatory knowledge that is upon every individual person who is mukallaf. And we said mukallaf is the age of responsibility. When does a person become mukallaf?
When they hit puberty.
Huh?
When they hit puberty?
Yes. What are the signs of puberty?
For a girl.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead, because I've been talking.
For a girl, is it their cycle? Their menses?
Yes.
And the boy, I'm not sure.
It's
okay.
Nocturnal emissions or wet dreams, the age of 15, or hair, pubic or facial hair.
Whichever one of those come first, then the boy reaches mukallaf, and for a girl, it's just one when he reaches her cycle.
And to be mukallaf, you have to also have a sound mind. You have to be introduced to Islam. You have to have a sound mind, and you have to, and then all the other things that follow.
Yeah, sound mind, Muslim, and and reaching the age of puberty.
And is it too like mukallaf, like if you're not deaf, or is that like a minor, like if you're deaf, and blind? I'm doing
no, but deaf doesn't mean your faculties are gone. You just can't hear, but you can still, sign language and stuff like that.
Okay.
So the message can still be conveyed to you if you're deaf. Your mind is still sound. You just can't hear. All right. So we talking. This book is talking about Islam, Iman, and Ihsan. All right. Let's Assalamu alaikum, Sister Hamima. Yes. You can turn your mic on if you want to say something. Don't come on here and act like no rookie now. You can't, MashaAllah. All right. So what was the other thing I was going to say? I can't remember. All right, but we can start reading from the text, inshallah. So okay, let's we say Imam al-Ghazali, he took this book works from here. So we'll start from chapter 1.
Okay. And if you remember
Also,
it while I'm
question.
reading, you can say something.
Okay.
I had a quick question. All of the terms that you went over and the spelling, but the key terms that she just memorized, is there like a sheet with all of them where I can get the right spellings and stuff?
Yeah, I do have a sheet full of notes. Yeah, we can send them to you.
Okay, because I know I probably didn't spell it right.
Okay.
And if you go to the everything is on the YouTube channel as well. So if you subscribe to the Kuba School, you'll see all of the videos. So all of the videos from week 1 all the way down to right now, you'll be able to actually sit into the class, and the PowerPoints are there so that you can, take your time to look through and write down the PowerPoints as well.
Shukran.
Have fun.
Okay, so let's read the text, inshallah.
All right, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. All praise belongs to Allah, Lord of the worlds, a praise that matches his gifts and equals his increases. And may Allah send blessings upon our Master Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and upon his family and companions. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Seeking knowledge is an obligation for every Muslim, male and female." He sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Whoever takes a path searching for knowledge, Allah will lead him along a path to the garden, al-Jannah." The topics discussed in this book have mainly been abridged from the books of Hujjat al-Islam al-Ghazali. It is rahimahullah. It is our hope that whoever knows them and acts upon them will be placed by Allah among the people of true knowledge, outwardly and inwardly, and success is with Allah.
Okay. And he says success is from Allah. The word tawfiq. You remember what we said? The meaning of the word tawfiq is
to be successful.
Yes, that's a given. Yeah. Well, we gave a more specific meaning, if you remember.
I'm gonna flip that because I know.
Tawfiq is when Allah gives you the ability to be obedient to it.
Yes, success or the ability to do good and to stay away from evil.
Right, that's tawfiq. So this is the dua that he made, and may we have tawfiq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and search and seeking this knowledge and implementing and learning it inwardly and outwardly. Okay. Go ahead. The arkan of Islam.
Bismillah. The pillars of Islam. The pillars of Islam are 5. Bearing witness that there is no God but Allah and that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the messenger of Allah. Doing the salat, giving the zakat, fasting Ramadan, making hajj, pilgrimage, and to the house for whoever is able to. The above are to be done with sincerity and belief. Whoever is not sincere is a munafiq, or hypocrite, and whoever does not believe with his heart is a kafir.
Okay, so we discussed in a little detail about the 2 types of nifaq or hypocrisy, major and minor. All right, so we've discussed that minor nifaq is when someone is lacking sincerity or laziness, but major nifaq is considered what?
Major nifaq takes you out of the folds of Islam.
Yeah, if a person is not a believer, they have major nifaq. Now, how would you know? What's the signs of major nifaq?
You don't know because that's in their hearts.
Okay, good. All right. So what are some of the signs of the minor nifaq? Because this is what the Sheikh is meaning here about minor nifaq.
Why did I draw a blank? So a minor nifaq or hypocrite is.
Do you remember the book we had? I actually got copies of it, but there was a book that we said we should read.
The signs of the hypocrite, and it's by.
Well, it's called 30 Signs of the Hypocrite.
So they speak and they don't tell the truth.
Yeah, but the Hadith mentions 3 signs specifically. You said 1. When he speaks, the signs of the hypocrite are 3.
When he speaks, he doesn't tell the truth. When he makes a promise, he breaks the promise. And when he, oh my gosh, why am I missing the last one? When he speaks, and when he's given a trust, he breaks that trust.
Praise it.
He betrays it.
And then another one, another narration of Hadith that gives another one that says that when a person, when they are like confronted or they're in the discussion, they become real nasty with argumentation.
Yes.
So these are signs of minor nifaq, you know, and we all have these signs. That's why that book we recommended. I think they have a PDF version, but I have some hard copies. Like, we should review this book every time and see, man, we gotta work on ourselves, because we walking around here diseased, undiagnosed, you know. Mashallah. All right, so then now he talks about the 5 pillars, and this is the 5 pillars of fard ayn upon every person who is mukallaf. So what is the difference between being mukallaf and being mumayyiz? What is mumayyiz? Or tamyiz?
Oh, okay. Tamyiz that's like the age of, like, for instance, the age of 7, and that's where you become aware of things, like the age of awareness. And so you're not obliged, or it's not obligatory for you to follow those things. So your pen is still lifted in the sense. And then,
so what are some of the signs of a person that is mumayyiz or has tamyiz?
Well, they haven't reached the age of puberty.
Right.
They understand a little bit, but they're not at full capacity of understanding.
Yeah, the scholars say that the age where they can do things like put their own clothes on, use the bathroom, they're able to form independent thoughts, ask questions, stuff like that. You know, so it is a stage before a person becomes fully accountable. So, you know, and as we know with children, you know, as early as 5, 6, they're super highly intelligent. You know, kids say the darndest things. And, you know, so they already have a level of intelligence before they become accountable. And that is why the Prophet ﷺ has said, you know, that you should encourage the children to pray when they reach the age of 7. And and by the age of 10, if they don't pray, then you should beat them. You know, and beat them means to discipline them. We're not talking about old school, you know, getting the switch off the tree and, you know, leaving whelps on them.
Or an extension cord.
Yeah, or extension cord, or irons, or frying pans, and stuff like that. Or maybe I'm exposing myself too much. Yeah, so, but yeah, they reach an age they're accountable, because, you know, children, you know, they have that, they know what they're doing.
Yes.
You know, they just have a free pass because they're not accountable. So that's why you have to have so much patience with children.
Yeah.
All right. So the first, now he talks about the first pillar, the shahada. It's a testification, or here he says the asl iman. All right. So read that section.
Faith, or iman. The reality of iman is that you are convinced that Allah exists, and that He, subhanahu wa ta'ala, is one without partner, likeness, or similarity. Nothing is like Him, and He is the all-hearing and all-seeing. He created the heavens and the earth, death and life, obedience and disobedience, health and sickness, and the entire universe and what it contains. He created human beings, Azza wa Jal, and their actions, and determined their provisions and their lifespans. There can be no increase or decrease in these appointed things. Nothing happens except by His, Azza wa Jal, decree, or qada, that it will happen, and His determining, Azza wa Jal, qadar, and His, Azza wa Jal, will, irada. He, subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He is, the exalted, is living and all-knowing. He, subhanahu wa ta'ala, wills and is able. He, subhanahu wa ta'ala, is speaker, hearer, and seer. He, subhanahu wa ta'ala, is knowing of the treachery of the eye and what is hidden in the chests. He, subhanahu wa ta'ala, knows all secrets and that which is even more hidden. He, subhanahu wa ta'ala, is the creator of everything and is the one, the subduer.
Okay, alhamdulillah. So this right here is sufficient enough to know as far as Aqidah, or, you know, of course, it's more detailed than that, but it's very important to know that Allah is one without partner. And before even knowing Allah is one, what is the thing that we have to believe? He's mentioned it here.
That he's
One of the first.
that there's nothing like him.
No.
Oh.
Before that.
That he is Allah. He's the creator.
Yeah, that he what? That he is Mawjood.
Mm-hmm.
What is Mawjood?
You told us that.
That before we can believe Allah is one or that he has power over everything, we have to believe first that he exists.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah. Mawjood is that he exists. All right, because when you talk about the Aqidah of Ahl Sunnah, they cover all aspects because there are people who don't believe in Allah. So the first thing is to believe that he exists. And then all of these those necessary attributes that we're going to cover in a different class. How many of them are there, Sister Khadija?
How many what?
Necessary attributes for Allah.
Oh, 20?
13 or 20.
Okay.
Yeah, some of them overlap, but the first, it's usually 13 and there are 20. And when we say necessary attributes, we're talking about the attributes that makes Allah who he is and why he's unique.
Mm-hmm.
Because we believe that I think we covered it in this class. Yeah, we did. That these attributes, that the blank of them are inconceivable,
mm-hmm.
and the blank of them are impossible.
Impossible.
All right, fill those blanks in.
That's what you said.
I said the blank.
Oh, you did.
Words
the existence of them is
not the existence.
Oh, oh my goodness, why am I drawing blanks? The belief in them is it's not the belief in them. What is it?
I'll give you the first one. The absence of them are inconceivable.
And the existence of them is
not the existence of them. Okay. The absence of them are inconceivable, and the blank of them are impossible.
The absence of them? No, the
absence of them are inconceivable.
Oh my God. Meaning
that it is inconceivable that Allah doesn't exist.
Right.
And the blank of them are impossible.
See, I need my sister, and she's not even in here. She always says that.
You're on your own out. You're on your own out here. Mr. Allison, you want to take a crack at it?
What's the question again?
I said, when we talk about Allah's necessary attributes, there is a principle that we work by. It says that the absence of them are inconceivable, and the blank of them are impossible.
The presence of them are impossible. No.
At this rate, you'll guess it eventually, but we don't have enough time.
I know.
All right, well, I'm gonna give you that the absence of them are inconceivable, and the opposite of them are impossible. So when we talk about those necessary attributes of Allah, for instance, this first one is existence. Yeah. The absence of existence for Allah is inconceivable. That the human mind can't think that Allah doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. And the opposite of that, which is non-existence, is impossible for Allah. So when we will discuss these attributes in a different class, because it's very important to know them in detail, inshallah, and it's part of the necessary knowledge that we're learning now, that we have to know who Allah is, who he isn't, and in detail. So, but we just covering this text. All right, so go ahead. We talked about the qadar, the qadar, and the irada.
Yes.
All right, so this section here basically covers Aqidah or Iman. Mm. And then the other part of Iman, you can continue reading, Sister Khadija.
Okay. He, subhanahu wa ta'ala, sent our Master Muhammad, his servant, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and messenger to the whole of mankind for their guidance, so that they could perfect their lives and complete their return to him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. He, subhanahu wa ta'ala, helped him with clear miracles. You must also be convinced that he, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was truthful in every fact which he conveyed to us from Allah, whether concerning the transverse or sirat, the balance, mizan, the pool, hawd, and other matters of the next world and the barzakh. including the questioning by the two angels and the punishment and bliss in the grave. The Quran and all the books that Allah sent down are true. The angels are true. The garden is true. The fire is true. And so is everything else about which our Master Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam informed us.
Okay, alhamdulillah. So I know some of these things we didn't cover in detail, and then with Sister Allison, I know you came in at the latter part of the class. Well, in this section here, in the videos that we already have recorded, we talk about the sirat, or they say traverse here, or the bridge. The mizan is the scales or the balance, a scale of good deeds and bad deeds that will be weighed on the judgment day. The pool or the hawd, we discussed that in detail, and other matters of the next world, and the barzakh. And you know what the barzakh is, Sister Allison?
No.
Okay, Sister Khadija.
I just wrote that down, actually. Inner space between death and resurrection.
Huh?
Is it the inner space between death and resurrection?
Inner space.
I heard her say
yeah,
it, and I
could,
looked at the definition in the Bible.
We can use that word, but what's the
purgatory?
Yeah, it's called purgatory, or the barrier, or the holding area. I call it the holding tank.
Yeah.
You know, so that's just my term, but don't use that nowhere else. All right.
No, the other holding area or purgatory, you said, right? Purgatory.
Huh?
You said purgatory or holding area, right?
Purgatory, that's what it's called. It's like the barrier where all the souls will be collected until the judgment day.
Okay.
So barzakh. All right. And then we mentioned the reference in the Quran where it's mentioned. You remember, Sister Khadija?
It might be Surah 19, but I cannot remember.
No, it's Surah 23.
23.
All right, but what ayat?
Surah 23. It's not. Oh no, I'm thinking of 1426. I gotta go back.
All right.
Go back.
Ayat 100. I'm cutting your break.
There it is, 100. Because I'm answering, I'm doing well here. Really.
You're doing great. You're doing exceptionally well. Yeah, alhamdulillah. I mean, we are a little rusty. So, but in this part, Allison, I just wanted you to know these things, for particularly the name of the Quran and the books that Allah sent down. We covered them in the previous classes. The names of the angels, the garden and the fire. We covered some of the names of Jannah and some of the names of Jahannam. And all of those things that we believe that the Prophet ﷺ brought to us. And we talked about the qualities of the prophets, that they can't be liars. All right. All right. So that's the basic chapter for Iman or Aqidah, Tawheed, or Ilm Kalam. Is more detailed than that. But that's what you need to know as a basic, the belief in Allah and the belief in His Prophet ﷺ, which is Shahada. All right. So the next section is chapter 2 of worship. It starts with the salat. So you want to read, Sister Khadija?
Yes. Prayer, purity. The obligation or furud of wudu are 6. Intentions, niyah, washing the face. The limits of the face are lengthwise from the place of the normal hairline of the head to the jawbone, and in width from ear to ear. 3. Washing both hands and arms up to and including the elbows. 4. Wiping part of the skin of the head or the hair that covers it. 5. Washing the 2 feet up to and including the ankles. 6. Performing the actions in this order.
What's the term for performing the actions in this order?
Tartib.
All right, so here it describes the Quran, the wudu that's in the Quran. What surah and ayah is it in? I might have it in the notes. Hopefully not.
I hope so. No.
So where can we find this description of making wudu?
I know where it is. I just read it. It's not Surah Al-Baqarah. What? I just read it. I'm mad now because I just read it. I literally just read it.
Okay, I'll give you Surah Ma'idah, Surah 5. Which ayat?
I'm not gonna be able to tell you, but I definitely know it was there because I just read the juice, so I know.
Ayat 6.
Yep. There it
Surah
is.
Ma'idah ayah 6, where you get the description of the Quranic wudu.
Yes.
So this will be enough to make a wudu where you make your attention, and you will wash your face like this once, and you will wash your arms, and then your feet up to the ankles. That will be sufficient as a Quranic wudu. But is that how we make wudu?
No.
That is the very minimum that one has to cover.
Yes.
All right. But so we all know how to make wudu, right? How many times, all of that kind of stuff.
Yes.
You want to do a demonstration now or keep going? Not right now.
I don't mind.
No, let's keep going because we're pressed for time. But Sister Allison, you familiar with matter of fact, Sister Allison, you should show us actually.
How to make wudu?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's
Are you
fine.
are you decent or?
Yeah,
No, I mean,
but then I guess my feet is the only thing I wouldn't want to show.
yeah, no, that's okay. No, don't show your feet.
But yeah, so like my hands, and do you want me to just say what it is as I go?
Yeah. How many hands?
Okay.
Start with which hand you starting with?
Left and then right.
No.
Right then left. I'm sorry, right then left. I didn't do it wrong. Right
You
then
got
left.
your brain is
He makes you nervous. It's okay, Sister Allison. He makes you nervous.
Start with your right hand. Go ahead.
Okay, right then left, and then 3 times, and then you do your face. I mean your
How do you do your
mouth
hands?
3
Like
times.
how do you do your hands?
I do your whole wrist. You have to make sure you get your wrist and your whole hand.
So you go past your wrist a little bit.
Yes, but you don't have to go through each finger like you do your feet. Correct?
No, you go in between your fingers.
It's like
Okay. Well, I don't go like this though. Do you?
You
I
can.
just go like that.
Well,
just
the purpose of wudu is make sure that every limb, that water touches every part of the limb that you're wiping. So you can go like this, and then you can come back in between your fingers, or you can go detail like that, depending on how much time you have.
Okay.
You know.
I always do that with my feet, and I just do whole hand with my.
Okay. So your right hand up past your wrist a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then your left hand. Then what's next?
And then your mouth, rinsing out your mouth 3 times, and then washing your face 3 times, and then
wait a minute.
You're
forgetting something. Your mouth.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Oh, right. Your nose, you got to, sorry. And then your nose, you got, and sniffing in as you go. I don't want to say how I do it, but because I don't know if it's wrong.
No, it says so weird. No, go ahead.
I just put the water on my hand and then I put it in my nostrils and sniff it up. And then
no, you should put the water, you should sniff it in and blow it out with your left.
I know, but that whenever I do that, I get really sick. So I just don't do it that way. Someone told me I could do it that way. So if it's not permissible, then I will have to take that out and I won't do that.
You get sick for blowing water out your nose?
You get a headache.
No, whenever I do it, I start coughing and it's like it ends up being like all in my nose and it's just the worst.
No, it should be light. It should be, like we're not inhaling the substance. You just
like you can, if you put it in your hand, you can just kind of like put it like that to have it go in. I mean, I'm not just correct me you don't have to go like you don't have to do that. You just you're
just like putting water in your nostrils and just blowing it out. You're not really sniffing it in.
This is on YouTube, but I ain't gonna say much.
Okay, go ahead. All right, so your mouth 3 times, your nose. In some schools, you do it in one motion. And in other schools you just do the mouth separate and the nose separate. So that is, that's neither here nor there. All right, then after that you do what?
And then I wash my face 3 times.
Okay. From where to where?
From your hairline all the way down to your chin.
Your jawbone.
You're up and over.
Yeah, so where the natural hairline is, because what if you recede and do you start back here?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know that answer.
Yeah. Well, we covered that in the class where a normal hairline would be.
Okay.
Right? So the person is back here, they don't start back here, If you got a George Jefferson.
If someone asks.
Yeah, just from here. Yeah.
And then don't forget
3 times.
Near your the part here for your ear where that little it's called the tragus.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you're washing your face, make sure that when you wash your face, you're getting that as well, because that's part of it.
That's to the extent that your face is where this those little lubes. What do they call again? The tragus.
The tragus.
The tragus.
Yeah.
Yeah, those little things where your ear is, where you can, hold on to your ear. So just making sure that that's wet as well, because sometimes we only concentrate really on the outline of our face, but you have to make sure that you get, that part as well.
Okay, so as you said, the hands, the mouth, the
I
nose,
did
the face.
same thing. Well, I'm in here learning.
The hands, the mouth, the nose, the face,
and then
what's next?
And then the arms. And
Okay.
Wait a minute, let me make sure. Yes.
Yeah.
And then the arms 3 times, and going all the way up to the elbow to your
past the elbows.
Yeah, all the way up.
Okay.
Like that, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then you're doing making sure your hands are wet, and then going all the way behind your head. So your whole head.
Okay.
This should reach the scalp. And then the same
How
water.
many times?
Just once.
Okay. And the Shafi school is 3 times, but it's neither here nor there. Yeah.
Okay, so should do 3?
Yeah, it depends on what school you follow. You should do 3 if you're following the school, and you should be following the school. All right, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
We'll talk about that.
So for her right
now,
that's
what this book is based on. Like, 1 or 3 times is good, but it's just like if you follow a curriculum in school, you do how the curriculum is. You know what I mean? But that's a topic for another discussion.
But it's obligatory to just do the 1 time, though, right?
Yeah, you have to do it at least once.
Okay.
You have to do
and
it
then that same water, you wash behind your ear with your thumb, and then you go in your ears, correct?
Well, in your ears first with the index fingers, and then come around, and then the outside with your thumbs.
Okay. And then behind your ear. Yeah. And then what are we back to? And then after that, then it's your feet.
Okay.
And then you're going in between your pinky toe all the way to your big toe every time you wash the whole foot.
Up past the ankles.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you can be underneath of running water, that's better.
Okay.
Outside of where you made with the rest of, like where you did the rest of your body, if you can be outside of that water that touched the ground to do it in that area, correct? Just like you would in Ghusl?
I'm not sure.
What do you mean? Like, say if
you say I'm using different water from.
So no, just if you are in an area where you are using running water, not like a sink or something, that you shouldn't stand in the same area where you washed impurities off for the rest of your body. You should move over for your feet, so that because whatever wasn't that you just washed off your body is now on the ground near where your feet are. So you should move over to the right, like you do in a Ghusl. But that's what I was told later. I didn't do that.
No,
before
that's no, everything will be the same. And on the Ghusl, you wash your feet like outside of, like you're in the tub, and then you would do your feet last after you get out of the shower. Most of us use showers. You would do your feet later after that. And the wudu is sequence.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a sequence. All right. Okay, so we did wudu. All right, we covered that part. Then the next one, read the next section, Sister Khadija.
Okay. If one is in a state of janaba because of sexual intercourse or the emission of sexual fluid or mani during sleep or otherwise, it is necessary to wash the whole body with the intention of removing janaba.
Okay, so here he talked about ghusl, which removes janaba, which is sexual intercourse through emission of semen. All right, so what's the other part when you're removing impurities for when you're making wudu? What is it called? We talked about it. That when you purify yourself from salat, but it's not where you have to make ghusl. Those things from the exit from the front of the back. What is that called?
Istinja? No.
No, istinja is the act of cleaning yourself. But what are those things called? It's called. It starts with an H. Yeah, good.
I'm
Hadath.
Hadath. Oh my.
Hadath.
Yes.
Hadath is the impurities that come from either passing wind or urinating or number 2.
Yeah.
So you had to perform istinja, which was with water. and then you remove those impurities like that, and you make wudu. But in the case of janaba, which is through sexual intercourse or the emission of semen, like during a wet dream or anything like that, then a person has to make ghusl. So what is the basic of making ghusl?
But you have to have pure water.
Okay. How
You
do you perform the ghusl?
you have to wash your right side. Oh, or you let the water flow down your right side and then your left side.
Yeah, before that though, what do you do before that?
Oh, make your intentions, and then you make your wudu.
But before the wudu, what do?
You have to
Say Bismillah.
No. You're removing the impurities from
Oh
you.
yeah, well you remove the impurity from. I mean, yeah, you
make the niyyah.
Yes,
You take your left hand, you remove the impurities front and back, and
yes.
then you pour water over your head 3 times. Make sure you massage the scalp, and then you pour water on the right side and the left side. All
Yes.
right, and that is an actual ghusl. Now, what part of the ghusl is the wudu? Because we discussed this.
What you mean? What part? Like, there's a specific word?
No, if you make ghusl, do you have to make wudu?
No.
Is it an obligation in the ghusl?
I thought it was.
It's already inside of
the wudu is sunnah.
Oh.
The wudu is sunnah, but to actually purify yourself from impurities, what's required is pouring water over the head 3 times and right and left. That is the actual ghusl. So everything else is the sunnah, like the wudu and making sure your nails are clean and like your belly button, all of those are sunnah. Not saying that you don't do them, but if you just only have time to make ghusl, you pour water, you remove the impurities, water over your head, right and left, that is a complete ghusl. But then you can also do it where you remove the impurities, make the wudu, then pour the water over your head, right and left, and then so you don't necessarily have to make the wudu when you make the ghusl, because there are times, say, you might make ghusl and you might go back to bed and you're not prepared for prayer. You know what I mean? So, and then there is in the Shafi school that making the ghusl is actually sufficient. Like if you made the ghusl and you don't pass any gas or anything after that, then that would be sufficient. Like if you was preparing for prayer. But make the sunnah is to make the wudu as well. All right.
Yes.
Is that clear?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't know they were even separate. I always thought you just had to do the wudu with the ghusl, so I didn't even know you could separate them out.
Yeah, well, all of these things are classified. Another class that I'm going to start doing is where we talk about the sunnah and the range of the sunnah from what is makruh, what is halal, what is haram, all of those things. And we covered those terms. You remember them, Sister Khadija?
Yes.
Okay, what are they?
Well, before I start, I need my sister, because sometimes you be adding stuff. His wife, because you be adding stuff, and I need her because she be telling me when you be adding stuff.
Yeah, she's not here today. You're on your own in the streets,
exactly.
All right?
So, makruh is disliked. So if you perform that thing or not, it's no. If you perform,
well, let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
The sunnahs are divided into basically 5 parts. So the first one is wajib.
Well, wajib is or fard are necessary. That if you don't perform them, they're sinful or blameworthy.
Right.
Then you have sunnah, which are
all of these are aspects of the sunnah. There's 5 categories. So one of them is wajib. That you have to perform it.
One is sunnah or mandub.
No, all of these are under the category of sunnah. Wajib, mustahab, mandub.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just okay. So mustahab is if you perform it, if you perform it for the intention of pleasing Allah, then it's rewarded. If you don't, you're not, it's not blameworthy, or you're not no punishment. And then makruh it's dislike.
You're missing one.
Well, not mubah.
Mubah
is either if you do it or not do it, there's no blame on you.
Right. There's no necessary reward or punishment connected to it. It's just something. Mubah means allowed.
Halal. Yes, halal.
Or not halal, allowed.
Oh, halal. Oh, allowed. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
allowed.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Or
then
another word that we use is neutral.
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 Yeah, it's in my
Okay,
notes.
so we have wajib, we have mustahab, and another term is mandub.
Mandub.
Sometimes these terms are interchangeable. Then we have mubah.
Mhm.
Then we have the other two terms.
Then that one is makruh. Now I'm stuck on makruh.
Okay, what does makruh means?
It means that
Makruh.
if you do that thing, it's disliked, but it's not haram.
Right. Give an example of makruh.
Well, you always say like eating garlic. Like if you eat
Yeah.
garlic, it's not blameworthy, but when you're making salat, it's offensive to the angels.
Right. It's makruh, because garlic is normally something that's lawful to eat, but if praying and that's offensive. So, but there's no punishment, connected to it. Like, all right. Then the next one is
Haram.
haram.
And that one is if you leave it for the sake of Allah, then you're rewarded, and if you enjoin or you do that act, then you are sinful and it's blameworthy.
And you'll be punished for
And
it.
you'll be punished for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. All right. So now the next stage, inshallah, will the invalidators of the wudu.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, the last. Oh yeah. So the last part of that page was the omissions of anything from the two waist passages, front and back, nullify the wudu. Okay. Wudu is also lost upon losing control of one's intellect during sleep and otherwise, unless one sleeps sitting down and one's seat firmly fixed on the ground. Touching the private parts, front or back, of any human, whether oneself or someone else, and whether adult or child, with the palm of the hand or the inside of the fingers nullifies wudu, even if it be one's own child or a dead person. The touching of the skin of an adult male by an unrelated female and vice versa without any barrier nullifies the wudu. However, touching the nails, hair, or teeth do not nullify the wudu.
Okay. The next section.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Wudu. So I've been on the janaza team, so I've been performing janaza. So of course we make a wudu before I'm not janaza, washing the body. I'm sorry. So after we're finished washing the body, do we have to make another wudu? According to Shafi'i method?
I don't know the exact ruling, but I know it's recommended that you could like once you finish washing the body, it's recommended to make a ghusl.
Yes, that part.
Yeah.
So then it makes sense that you would have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, because when almost always, because we start at like 6 o'clock, and almost always when we're finished, it's time for Maghrib, and so I cannot make Maghrib until I make the ghusl.
No, it's recommended to make the ghusl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not wajib.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why it's important to know these terms, so you know why.
Yes.
It's recommended, but you have a fard, you have to do with the Maghrib Salat.
Yeah.
So you still, the fard takes precedence over the other things.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Let's just read up to the section because it's almost 12 o'clock.
Okay.
All right. The validity of the Salat.
The validity of the Salat is dependent on the following. One, the awareness of the entrance of the time, either with certainty, yaqeen, or because of working it out, ijtihad, or an overwhelmingly strong supposition, or ghalabat zan, because if you make salat with doubt, it is not a valid prayer. 2, awareness of the qibla. 3, covering the awrah with a permitted clean cloth. And 4, the removal of impurity from the clothes, body, and place of prayer. And it is also necessary to pray the obligatory prayer, fard salat, standing up if one is able to do so.
Okay, the obligations of the Salat. The next section.
Okay, the salat. These are intentions, niyyah, entering the prayer by saying Allahu Akbar, Allah is most great, accompanied by the intention. The reading of the Fatiha, beginning with the word Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, the 14 points of stress and touch that, and not pronouncing a za and pronouncing a za instead of a the.
So that means, go ahead, I'm sorry.
For there is no the sound in the Fatiha.
Okay, so they're talking about when you say dolin, all right, and stuff like that. And then the 14 points of tashdidat means the 14 areas in the Al-Fatiha where it's a shadda or double letters. All right.
Yes.
And I seen you say you were learning some Arabic. Have you learned what the shadda is, Sister Khadija?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, yes.
Double, they translate as double consonants, right?
Yes.
Or something like that. Okay. All right. So we have entering the prayer by saying Allahu Akbar, reading Al-Fatiha. In the Shafi school, you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. What is that known as? What is that called? To say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
The Basmala?
The Basmala, right.
Okay.
In the Shafi school, it's said out loud. And there's even differences about saying it out loud or not, but we do say it. You know, there's no difference about saying it as whether it's said out loud or not. All right.
Yes.
All right. Ruku, the tutma'ina, pausing between each movement and returning to the upright position, which is called i'tidal. And prostration, the sajdatain, and sitting between the two prostrations. And pausing is necessary in all of these, and all of those are obligations. Then we said the first tashahhud and the sitting part, and the sitting during this part of the salat is sunnah, and the second tashahhud and sitting upon that is wajib. All right, and then the prayer of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we went over that already. Sister Allison, is any of this stuff new to you, or?
You mean the pausing and stuff?
Say it again.
You mean the pausing in between?
Yes. Are you familiar with these terms?
The terms, yeah, they talk about them when they go over prayer in classes.
Okay. All right. And so the minimum of the tashahhud is attahiyatu lillahi, salamu alayka ayyuhan nabiyyu rahmatullah, and all that. And then the prayer of the Prophet is the very least you should say Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. And there are a number of variations. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. A few others. And then we talked about all of the sunan of the prayers. And then we talked about some of the other actions, like having ikhlas, having presence, hudur, or concentration, and submissiveness, khushu'. All of these are things that should be in the prayer. Trying to understand what one is saying and avoiding showing off. Now, this brings us to the section we was actually supposed to cover today, the mubtilat as-salat. Let's just read this part, inshallah, where it says the acts that invalidate the salat, and then next week we'll discuss it in detail.
Okay.
So you want to read that it's on page 23, Sister Khadija.
Yes. Deliberately speaking invalidates the salat, even if it be only 2 letters, as does a large amount out of forgetfulness. A large amount of action also invalidates the salat. For example, 3 extra substantial movements, eating, drinking, exposing part of the aura without covering it immediately, and the appearance of najasa if it is not removed immediately without holding it. If a worshiper goes ahead of the imam by 2 integral elements, and likewise if he falls behind the imam by 2 integral elements without legitimate reason, his salat is also invalid. Prayer behind a non-believer, a woman, or someone of mixed gender is not valid. Okay,
so that's where it stopped there. And that section is what we'll cover next week in detail, inshallah. Okay. All right, so I know it's a little rough around the edges today, but mashallah, it was good. But as I mentioned, this course is basically that at the end of it, we'll be so familiar with this text that we'll be able to teach it. So, I'm not concerned about really like any kind of time limit to complete the book. As long as you ride with me, we just, we'll go through it, we keep reviewing, because the goal is to be able to, express this book orally, you know, like if you're teaching it to somebody, because that's the goal. Once you finish, you'll be able to, you know, run out the 5 pillars and what is the you know, what is the mizan and what is the hawd, and then what are the requirements of a wudu, and what are the you know, what makes a salat valid, invalid, all of those things that you should be able to run off the top of your head, inshallah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Sister Allison, if you need to review the videos, you subscribe to our page, right?
Yeah, I just subscribed, I think yesterday. But
Okay.
I did have a question. The on page what page number is that? I don't know if we have time, but page number 22. It said, so this is, that's the minimum, but I always did the whole thing. Like I do Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ili Muhammadin kama salata ala Ibrahima. You're not supposed to say that in the prayer.
No, you do saying it. Remember, this
Okay.
book is dealing with the basic elements that one is required to know, and then all of those other things are sunnah that you should do. You know, but if someone doesn't know that, the minimum, like if someone says Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, that is enough as a requirement. Then to say more, of course, is better. You know.
And the more, but you're only supposed to say the minimum on the second rakat if there's 4, and then or three, and then on the third or the fourth, depending on how many you have, you should be doing the whole thing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Yeah. So remember, this book is just a basic, you know, stuff, and the more details at the beginning of the book, he said that this is a mukhtasar, this is an abridgment, you know. So he's taking all of the necessary elements that one needs to know. Remember, he was writing. We mentioned in the beginning that he was asked to prepare a book for the common folk, you know, something that a common person can read. So even though this book is really is a basic, there's a lot that's here, you know. I mean, this is our 12th week into the book, you know, so there's a lot to cover. And because the Fard Ayn is a knowledge that is really makes a person have knowledge, you know. You'll be surprised at how many people don't really know these basic elements of Islam that they supposed to know, you know. And we live in a time now where people, you know, they can go Google this stuff and they know this sheikh, they know this ruling and all that, but they don't know what is sunnah in the salat and what is mustahab and what is mandub, you know. And this stuff is necessary for the person to know, you know, inshallah. So we keep covering it, you know. And of course, you know, you learn other things in other places. You know, I'm not the final stop, you know, for your learning. You know, this is just us going over a book. And so inshallah, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for tawfiq. So is any questions?
No.
I had one other question. I'm sorry. The note in wudu, you're saying that your hand has to be cupped with water and sniff when you go to the nose part. I just want to
that's one method that you could do. Either one is good. You know. But the way that you did it, you know, the object is to place water in your nose, you know, to remove impurities from there and then blow it out. You know, so whether you use the fingers or you just do it like that, you know.
Okay. But it should not go all the way to the back of the nostril. It shouldn't go all the way back.
No, you shouldn't be having headaches and stuff like that. You know,
maybe that's what I was doing wrong for years.
No, like I said, we're not inhaling any substances, you know.
Okay. There you go. Here's my friend.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little joke because that's stuff I used to do back in the day, but you know, worry about that.
We need quality control. Where is my
Freestyle Sunday today? But mashallah, yeah, so we'll just be completing the book. So if you're able to review, and of course, any questions you have during the week, you know, feel free to hit me up. So if we don't have anything else, we'll conclude there. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Nice meeting you, Allison.
You too. Nice meeting you as well.